Well, welcome to the Family Matters program. I'm Dr. Melody Bacon, licensed clinical psychologist. I've been in private practice for many years. I teach in a graduate program and have written a book on families and substance use disorders based on my experience working in that field and also working with families and couples over the years.
And I'm Ron Bacon. I'm the husband, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Have also worked in the chemical dependency treatment field, where it's being called substance use disorders these days. We've watched that evolution,
Right.
as it were, and being able to assist families who often have such a mix of feelings when they're dealing with somebody in early recovery. So helping you in your path so that you can achieve some of what you've been dreaming about and hoping for, that your family can be restored.
Yes. So we developed this program for you because not only did we have extensive experience in the field, Ron had over 30 years plus of working in that treatment, but we also had a loved one who was struggling with what we later found out was an addiction. And we knew, first of all, what the signs were early on. We knew exactly how we needed to proceed. And we thought later on that most people would have no idea what to do, because why would you? That's not your training. That's not your experience. And even when people have had, unfortunately, a number of years of experience with someone, a child or a spouse who's struggling with an addiction, they still are not quite sure how to proceed. So we thought what we would do is take the experiences that we have after many years of working in the field, our own personal experience of what was helpful, and also based on research that I did for my book and that we have looked at in other ways, so that what you are going to receive from this program is a clear pathway from the chaos and confusion of what addiction and alcoholism brings to everyone's life toward a time where you can see more clearly, have more days with serenity and peace, regardless as to whether or not your loved one decides to go into recovery and to get sober.
Yeah, how to get the focus off somebody who's demanding your attention. It doesn't mean ignoring them, because that doesn't work.
Right.
And it doesn't mean trying to pretend that you're not noticing them. It's about really making a change. And if it were easy, you would have already done it. Everybody would do it. If it were easy, you wouldn't. Those of you who have gotten involved in either al-anon or nar-anon wouldn't hear people who are saying the same story over and over again. That it's nothing against those programs. They're just up against something that's very difficult. And this is doable, and we will be here to guide you in being able to do something that you long for.
Right. So you are likely to be getting lots of advice from people, and it becomes even more confusing. So we want to help you with things we know work, again, based on our experience, our clinical experience, as well as research. These are things that have been proven effective over the years, so that you can hold on to that and know that you're doing the right thing, even though maybe the initial result isn't boom, off they go into treatment and sobriety. So we want to give you the clarity, the peace of mind with a program that you can work through at your time and in the way that you would like to, and you can revisit. I've had some of my clients go through the program, and they tell me they will go back in at periods of time to recall what they learned and just to get a refresher. And so this is a resource that will be here for you, regardless of when you want to use it. And this is because you'll learn in this program that we're looking, and this is the commonly held understanding of addiction and alcoholism, that it is a chronic illness, much like diabetes, heart disease, those kinds of things, that you manage them and you can live very rich, full life and it does take management, and that's what we're looking at for you as well.
So welcome to the program. Come with us on this journey,
Yes.
and we'll be there helping you make progress. It's not a perfect walk, but it is a progressive one, and we will get you there.
Welcome.
We've had the opportunity to apply the things that we will be teaching you in our own experience, and so this is tried, it's tested, it actually works.
We recognized early on that even though substance use disorders are very common, when it happens to you and your family, it is a surprise. Even you may have even grown up with someone who's an alcoholic or uses, and then your child ends up experimenting, or you don't know, right? And so what we want to do is help you figure out what you need to do to respond effectively, whether it's confirmed that somebody that you love is using or drinking in an alcoholic fashion, or you suspicion that they are and you're not quite sure. And I think that's what we're addressing here, particularly in this program for Family Matters, which is the Fast Track Crisis Support. This is because so many times you're at a decision-making point and you don't know how to respond. And that's difficult because you want to respond in the right way that's going to be helpful, and not knowing how is very anxiety-provoking.
Yeah, the addicts and alcoholics are very good at putting you under pressure, making you feel like you're the bad person, that you're doing something wrong. That when you can begin to depersonalize it, it's the disease talking. It is, it's just struggling to keep itself in place. And the goal of our program and our efforts is to help you put sobriety in the driver's seat. That sobriety runs the show in your family rather than the addiction. And that's easier said than done.
Yes. And so we created the Fast Track program because we know that sometimes you're desperately seeking coaching, support, strategies that are effective at different nodal points of crisis. We have a longer term program, step by step, that's designed to help teach you perspectives, skills, abilities for the long run to make your life better regardless. But in this case, the Fast Track program is really designed for you to be able to move through quickly and to also be an ongoing resource in case something comes up later that maybe we talk about but isn't pertinent to you at this point in time. So the Fast Track crisis support, we're using the analogy of a roadmap. And if you lived in, as we do, in Southern California, and we wanted to go to Colorado, we could eventually get there by trying different roads, but it would be circuitous, long, time consuming.
Stopping periodically saying, is this Colorado?
Right.
No, you're not there
yet. Am I doing it right? Am I at a dead end? So we thought if we have a map back in the day, or a GPS nowadays, you will just get there more effectively. And that's what we're designing for you. A roadmap through, as Ron has said in the past, an emotional minefield, because it feels as though if you step on the wrong place, there's going to be a big explosion and a lot of fallout.
And so going the softer, easier way is certainly, that's from the big book of AA, is talking about alcoholics who try to do things their own way and it doesn't work. That it's often in dealing with them, doing something that's a softer, easier, just avoiding conflict, because it can be awful, absolutely awful when you say no, or when you block the plans of somebody who has a substance use disorder. They don't like it, and they make you the problem.
Or even if you bring it up and they're denying it, and you know something's wrong, and then you start to question yourself.
So this crisis support, that's a crisis. When you start feeling like you're crazy, that's a crisis.
That's right. And having worked in the field for many years and then facing this ourselves with one of our loved ones, we realized that we knew, first of all, when we saw what we saw, we knew how to respond effectively. We knew how to keep our focus on different things other than the person we loved. And we know that this is difficult. So what we're going to give you is a roadmap with different points along the way to get you to the place where you have more ability to respond effectively, and you have some strategies that will help you move forward.
Yeah, knowing where you are on your own journey, that we think of this disease much like we do with cancer in stages. Stage 1 is much easier to deal with than stage 4. And if you don't know, and often somebody who's drinking, using, they're not telling you. So your first inkling that there is a problem could be when they're at stage 4. It does happen.
Yeah.
But treating it like it's stage 1 when it's stage 4 is not going to work. So,
or ignoring it when it's at stage 1 or even 0. There's stage 0 cancer because this is just something kids go through. And if you're concerned enough to wonder, chances are there's something there. That it isn't just a stage, and they're not going to just grow out of it. And then, as Ron has said, that creates problems later on when now you have a stage 2, 3, or 4. So what are you going to learn in this program? We're going to recognize the signs and stages, as we just talked. You're going to receive support and learn how to make decisions.
Will help you not go crazy.
Yes. Absolutely. And you're going to get tools that are effective and practical for many of these crises that come up. And so what you'll also find is that you're going to have a lot of different modalities that you can use for this approach. You can use your computer, you can use your mobile phone, whatever vehicle. If you want to use the analogy.
We're thinking of it as the roadway, that if you're on a moped, then you go at that speed. If you have a Ferrari, you're going to go faster. It's just the way it is. And we're not criticizing anybody's conveyance. That you just, if you're walking along the road, you can even do that on this particular roadway.
So you can go, as what Ron is alluding to, is at your own pace. Maybe you want to go through everything quickly and then revisit it a little at a time. When something pops up, oh, my kid's in jail, what do I do? You will find on your mobile phone app or on our website, you will find suggestions for decisions that you can be making and what the options are. We want to prepare you for a crisis. We do know that sometimes someone is in life-threatening, hopefully not you, but maybe your loved one. That, of course, necessitates a 911 call. But we will also help you with those kinds of decisions. When should I be calling for assistance because I'm concerned enough about my loved one or the safety of others? The other thing we're going to do, besides help you in an immediate crisis, is help you develop a contingency plan so that you don't have to keep coming up with this as though this is the first time you've seen this, that you take some time to figure out, okay, let's say my kid is looking like they're having a problem with drugs. There are certain signs that we're seeing. Then what? Well, then we make a suggestion to plan ahead in case you're correct. What are your options? And that way, if and when you need to make that decision, you have the groundwork laid. So it's not something you're trying to scramble to respond to at the last minute. And so that's really the focus of the crisis. We recognize that usually people come to realize that they have a problem during a crisis. And as Ron has alluded to, that addiction and alcoholism, that's pretty much how that happens.
One crisis to another, and you can have just one big chaotic house, that when you're saying, I want serenity and peace myself, you're on the road to your own sobriety. Even if you never touch any kind of substance, you can be not sober because you're so focused on somebody else who is drinking or using. And that's not sobriety, walking around on eggshells, wondering what's going to be happening today. We will assist you in knowing what's going to happen today, that your serenity and peace will be unbroken regardless of the crisis you face.
Yeah, so welcome to the Fast Track program. Do know that you're not alone. Many people are on this journey, and many people have navigated it successfully for their benefit and their loved ones, and that is what we hope for you.